Hello, my beautiful budget buddies. I have a secret I've been keeping from you guys. And the secret is I am planning on buying a home. Yes, it has been in the works for over a year now. I've been doing a ton of research. So I am deciding to purchase a home, hopefully soon, we'll see. And I am using the NACA program. It's a housing program to assist low and moderate income buyers. So if you're interested in buying a home, if you're curious about the NACA program or just curious about my process so far, then stay locked in. I promise you we're going to get into all of those good juicy details because it's not as simple as it sounds. At least it sounded like it might be simple, but it wasn't. NACA is the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation program. So I'm reading that from my notes. So it's an acronym. And they are a program that is geared toward low to moderate income families, although they don't only work with those folks, but they are geared again towards the low to moderate income folks who want to purchase a home. And purchasing a home, if you don't know much about it, is like a very expensive process for a lot of people. And it's one of the biggest financial decisions most people will ever make in their lives. And so NACA is a way to get rid of some of those hurdles that have traditionally kept people from buying homes, especially people in this socio-economical class. All right. So the advantages to NACA and the things that I love is, one, they actually do a pretty good job helping people get a budget, sometimes their first budget ever. And as a former budget coach myself, I think they do a pretty good job in helping to explain to people that buying a home is not just your mortgage cost, right? So it's not the mortgage that you're paying back and the insurance and taxes, but it's also the maintenance, it's the upkeep, it's the short-term stuff like light bulbs, and the long-term stuff like needing to replace a roof or a furnace. So they go through that in very much detail, which I love as a financial educator. I think people need better awareness around knowing what they're taking on when they decide to get a mortgage. The other things that I like about NACA is that they take the money piece, like at least the money piece on the front end, out of it. So down payment is, historically they say 20% of the mortgage price is what you should have for a down payment. Most people cannot afford 20%. So there are some loans out there that allow you to get a mortgage with 3 to 3.5% down. But even that in this market is high. A entry-level home in my neighborhood right now is somewhere between 2 to 300,000. That's on the really, really low end. So 3% of that is still quite a lot. And that's just the down payment. We haven't even talked about the closing costs. Closing costs are all the things you need to pay to the title company and the appraiser and all these other folks that are involved in the mortgage process. They need to get paid too. And that could also be almost as much as the 3.5% that some people, or 3% that some people are putting down on the house. So if you needed to put, say, $9,000 down, you might need a total of $18,000 to finish that entire mortgage process. Most people don't have $18,000 just sitting around to buy an entry-level $300,000 house. So it's boxing a lot of people out of the housing market who would love to get in. And if you know anything about owning a home, it is don't quote me on stats, but I'm gonna say 90-something% of millionaires have real estate. Real estate has been, especially in the US, a very traditional path to wealth. It's a very traditional path to legacy in terms of generational wealth, right? And that's something I know my single moms and me are very much interested in. Owning real estate is one of the ways in which people do it, and it's one of the more popular ways. And when you have hurdles like high down payment cost and high closing costs, and you don't understand what it means to take on a mortgage, it can keep you out of the game completely. So again, I think NACA does a great job of literally doing away with those things. Another advantage to the NACA program is that they keep their interest rates ridiculously low, y'all. The average market rate, I think right now for a mortgage, a 30-year mortgage product is 3.5% 3.275. It can change, by day, but NACA, as of yesterday, they were at 3% for a 30-year mortgage. That is like unheard of. I don't know what you all know about mortgages and the history of like interest rates, but 3% is just crazy low. And they also offer the option to buy down, so you can lower that interest rate even further if you have some money that you can put into the transaction in addition to your earnest money. That's a whole nother thing, but if you don't know what it is, Google it. I don't want to distract from this video to talk about earnest money and all the other parts of the transaction you might need to know about. But in addition to helping you like with the interest rates and keeping them really, really low, which will keep your mortgage down, they also offer a 15-year program, or a product, I should say, a 15-year mortgage product with an even lower interest rate. I think yesterday it was like 2.6%. That is, I know I said the other one was like crazy low, but that is even like, I don't know. It's just really, really low. And it's very, very key to keeping your mortgage like cost and payment low. So I think they offer some incredible products at really low interest rates. And this is another thing that not a lot of people who are new to buying homes know about. They do not charge PMI. PMI. It's important to understand that PMI is an insurance that a lot of people who cannot put 20% down on their mortgage are paying. Some people don't even know they're paying it. But it's not an insurance to protect you as the homeowner. It's an insurance, almost like a penalty that you're being charged on top of your mortgage payment to protect the bank or the lender who is giving you money when you cannot put 20% down. And this can add hundreds of dollars to your mortgage payment on top of the regular insurance that you need and the regular taxes and just paying back the loan. So if you can save yourself by no PMI, low interest rates, no down payment, no closing costs. These are all the things the NACA program are offering. Like, I don't know. It sounded too good to be true, quite frankly, which is why for the past year I have been researching it. I've been asking everybody I know in the mortgage industry about this housing program. And from what I can tell, it's legit. But with all of those benefits, obviously there are some drawbacks, and it's important that you understand those as well so you can, make the best decision for yourself if you're considering the NACA program. All right, so the drawbacks. The number one thing to me that's a big drawback with this program is that they are inundated with requests and they don't have a lot of people, it seems, working. They do have 30 some odd offices throughout the US, but they are not very well staffed. I'm gonna just be honest. So getting like information from the staff, getting appointments, because I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the process. You will need appointments to meet with like counselors and workshops and stuff. It is a lot. And for me, it has taken months. So for instance, to meet with my very first counselor to get certified for hopefully my mortgage, or at least the start of it, I did that in April, okay? I set up the appointment in April. They did not have availability until August, which is still next month. So it has been months. It can delay your process. But for me, I like to keep the fact that I'm not in a rush to buy a house at the forefront of my mind. I mean, let's just be clear about your intentions. I don't have a reason why I have to have a house. I'm in a home right now that is comfortable, it's safe. I'm in a great school district. I want a home. I don't have to have a home. So, I mean, that may be your situation or may not be, but just be clear that you're like very well aware of what you want to do and why you want to buy a home. A home is not a purchase you want to rush into, and I don't plan to rush into it either. So waiting with NACA for me was not that big of a drawback, but it could be for you. Another drawback with NACA is that they require that you live in the home for at least 5 years before you could like rent it out. I'm pretty sure that is the stipulation, but do a quick little Google search just to make sure, because I could not find that information again. I'm pretty sure I read it somewhere in one of my several packets that they've given me. So if you are a person who is looking to get into a home to like flip it or rent it within a year or two, the NACA product might not be a good fit. But for me, 5 years is okay. And the last thing that some people have an issue with is that NACA asks you to pay membership dues and volunteer as a way to kind of pay it forward. You know, they are really helping out a lot of people throughout the country, sometimes get their very first home ever. And so they need help. I just mentioned about how they appear to be understaffed. So not only do they ask that you pay $25 in dues per year, which I think is like, honestly, I spend $25 like buying something I probably don't need at the grocery store, but they also want you to volunteer 5 times a year at some of their on-site events. Now, I think this was done away with in 2020 where, you know, things weren't in person, but they do need help with people getting their budgets done, volunteering at some of their on-site workshops, you know, kind of just some of those administrative things that they need to do in different cities. They ask people to volunteer, and I think there are opportunities to volunteer without being in person as well. So for me, again, that wasn't a big issue. I already love talking about money and finances, so to volunteer to do it to help other people achieve their home ownership dream is like not a big deal, but something you should be aware of. Okay, so that's it for my video. I know I talked a lot, so if you have questions, please, you know, hit me up in the comments. I'm happy to talk about this particular route. There are tons of other mortgage products. Nobody's paying me to talk about this particular one, but y'all know I'm always trying to share information with my single mamas. And I know sometimes we have some additional challenges that other groups of people don't have. And so I want y'all to be clued in on all the good stuff out there that could help us. I mean, there are down payment programs, all kind of stuff. I don't want you to think that home ownership is not in the picture for you because you have a low income or you only have one income, okay? So just, you know, stay posted. I'm going to continue to do update videos on my home buying process. I'm super excited. And yeah, if you found value in this video, go ahead and like it, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and share it with someone if you think it's of value to them. So it's Danielle with Single Mom Money signing off, guys. It's been a pleasure chatting with y'all as always, and go be great. All right, take care of yourselves, and besitos.